All right, welcome back. So in this lesson, we are going to deal with the cognitive side of this process. So you've just dealt with the emotional part, coming into neutral emotionally, where you have access to your clear mind, right? You need to be clear enough emotionally so that you can think clearly. So now we're going to deal with the cognitive side of things, okay? And in particular, we're going to deal with blame. Blame is a way projecting the problem onto the other person and believing that if they fix it, if they did something differently, then you wouldn't either be in this situation. Believing that the other person is to blame for your situation keeps you in a place of being the victim, right? So you cannot be the victim and be empowered at the same time. Those state of minds happen on completely different frequencies and they cannot coexist. You can either be empowered or you can be a victim, but you cannot be both at the same time. And for you to use your mind in a way to have the power to change your reality, to change the outcome, to draw to you the very best possible scenario of how this will unfold and resolve itself, you cannot afford to be in a victim position. This feels self-empowered sometimes because there's pseudo power in the anger that you can project onto someone. And it feels actually more energetic to be angry than to be hopeless, for instance. But the truth is that while you entertain that low frequency that comes with blaming someone, you cannot be empowered. So our first step right now in this part of the course is to find out if you are blaming anyone for the situation that you're in. And most likely you are, because this is what society has taught us. This is what we see everywhere. We see everybody pointing the finger at somebody else. Nobody wants to take full responsibility for their life. So you have to choose whether you want to be a victim and feel a sense of pseudo power when you blame someone, keeping you stuck, or whether you want to be self-effacing, get really real with yourself, stop the blame game, and point that information that you're getting by having this feeling that you need to blame someone, and pointing it at yourself and finding out what it is yourself that you're dealing with. So whenever you're triggered by someone else, you can be sure that you have to look at yourself and deal with this yourself. The fastest practical way to get results with this is to become very specific about the words that you are describing what the other person that you're blaming is doing. So identify what you're blaming them for. You could be blaming them for not supporting you in the way that you need to be supported. You might be blaming them for not giving you the love and attention and admiration that they used to, right? So whatever it is, flip it around, apply the mirror concept, which Milton Erickson already talked about in psychology, that we project our shadow usually onto the person who's closest to us. That's what we do when we blame. We're projecting our shadow outward. It's much easier to see our own shadow on the mirror, on the other person, than it is to really acknowledge that this is something that we have to deal with ourselves, that we have to evolve in this area ourselves. Become aware of the words that you're projecting outward, that you're blaming someone for, and then apply them to yourself. and ask yourself, in this scenario, in this example, how am I not giving myself the support that I really need? How am I not giving myself the love and admiration and recognition that I need? And once you ask yourself that specific question, the words that you've been projecting onto someone else, the blame that you've been projecting onto someone else, once you ask yourself that question, you will very quickly get an answer. If you're self-effacing and you're open to finding the answer, you will receive the answer. And you will get ideas of how you can be more supportive of yourself. What is it that you really need to do? What is the one thing that you really need to give yourself? And then from that information, from that insight, you can then, make a change in your life. You can listen to yourself. You can listen to what it is that you really need. In the other example, where you're asking yourself, how am I not giving myself the love and attention that I need? You will get an answer very quickly of how you need to, or that you need to give yourself more self-love, that you have to find a way to thinking about the things you love about yourself, rather than always putting you down in your own mind. To go over this in detail and at your own pace, please download the PDF file that I have prepared for you. If you need help with this, please reach out to either myself or one of the other practitioners on my coaching hub at blisskeys.com, and I welcome you to join me and the other members and other practitioners in the coaching hub, in the membership area, where we'll be dealing with this type of work and really getting into the nitty-gritty of how to make the law of attraction work, how to become a deliberate manifestor, and how to become master of your own life experience.